Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode in the Book Club Call. I welcome every single one of you from whichever part of the world you're tuning in today with us. And today we'll be discussing another chapter of a powerful book that we have been discussing from last few weeks, the power of, your invisible power. We'll be getting into a chapter which is very deep and it has a lot of information in it. And we are going to discuss the insights of that chapter today. Okay. So if you are watching us on YouTube, you can always let us know in the comment section from which part of the world you're tuning in with us. And we are always happy to have you here. Just give me a moment. What I'm going to do is I'll be sharing with you my screen. Okay. And we're going to get straight into our today's concept. Thank you so much for whoever is on the call today. I really appreciate your presence being here. Just give me a moment. All right. Let me share my screen with you. Please let me know in the comment box once you can see the whiteboard, okay? If you can see the whiteboard, you can comment box. And if you're on YouTube, just introduce yourself from which part of the world you're tuning in with us today. And if you ever have been into our book club. All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Vikas. I appreciate that. Good to see you back here. All right, perfect. Great. All right, everybody. So everything is going perfect. Everything is going smooth. All right. I'll encourage you that be in the call and just follow the things that I'm going to teach you. Okay. And just be ready with the blank sheet of pen and paper with yourself so that you can gain things about from whatever we are going to share with you today. All right, here we go. So today we are getting into the next chapter of our book. So we have been reading Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Rand. And today we are getting into the idea of where we will be discussing concepts, that because many people, when they try to manifest things, they try to understand a lot of things about it, right? But today's chapter is going to summarize to you something very important. And I believe if you understand this, what I'm going to explain to you today, the difference or the relation between the mental and the physical form, once you understand the relation between these two things, you will understand how this process of manifestation works. You will understand why visualization is important for you. And that's what we are going to getting details into today, right? Like what is the relation between these two opposite entities and why it is very important for us to understand it. And at the same time, why it is very important for us to really, really get a complete grasp of the idea that what does it mean by the physical, what does it mean by the mental when it terms of goal achieving and things like that. Okay. But before we get into the idea of this, I'm going to tell you something which I have learned many years ago in my journey being a life coach and understanding this personal development philosophy. I learned from my mentor that we live on three planes of understanding. Okay. And this is the basics of everything that we do, everything that we achieve in our life. That is the basic. And once we understood this basic, these three planes of understanding, we'll understand the relation between each and every single plane. We'll understand that how to manifest goals. We'll understand that what is missing in our life, and we'll understand what we have to do in order to make the shift that we have to make. So first of all, we have to understand that we are a spiritual being. Okay. Now, many people know that, but do we really believe in that? Now, we are a spiritual being and we are having a physical experience while we are on this planet Earth. Now, never ever try to differentiate or never try to opposite the order, okay? you are not a physical being and having a spiritual experience. That's what most people used to believe. That's what most people have an idea in their mind, that they're a physical being and they're having a spiritual experience. But in reality, it is the exact opposite. You are a spiritual being who is having a physical experience on this planet Earth. And I want you to understand that. Okay. And every single thing that you want on your life, it has to be first envisioned on a spiritual plane. So in the spiritual plane, you envision things in the form of thoughts. You envision things in the form of thoughts. And on physical plane, you receive results as a manifestation of the thought. Okay, that is the physical results. For example, on spiritual plane, you visualize the money, you visualize the great amount of abundance for yourself, you visualize the great amount of relationship for yourself. And then on the physical plane, you attract that money, you attract that home, you attract that job that you want, you attract that relationship that you want, you attract that physical body that you want, whatever you want. But how we go from this spiritual to this physical side, that is the question here. How we go from this point onwards to this point onwards. That means how we convert these thoughts of money, the thoughts of great relationships, the thoughts of great physical appearance, or whatever it is, how we convert these thoughts from just mere thoughts to actual physical reality. This is what happens when you understand the third plane of your existence, and that is intellectual abilities that you have, my dear friends. Now understand that it's your intellectual abilities, it's your intellectual factors that allows you to tap into your spiritual side, and your intellectual faculties are your higher faculties, and and your emotions and all that stuff. And by using your intellectual faculties, you have the ability to tap into your spiritual side, okay, and then build ideas here at the intellectual side. If I have to put it in a better perspective, I must say that by using your intellectual faculties, you can tap into this thought waves or thought sea of universe where there are a lot of thoughts, and you can combine them together on an intellectual field in the form of ideas. Now, what happens here is when you bring these things here in the form of ideas, and then when you implement and when you act on these ideas with belief, with faith, and with a mindset of positivity, with an attitude of positivity, that's the time when you get the results that you're seeking, my dear friends. Now, you see, these three planes of understanding, as I told you, it is very important for you to understand these three planes of these three planes of your existence. And as soon as you understand these three planes of your existence, you just become a person who connects the dots. And when you connect the dots, you start getting the results that you want. And when you start getting the results that you want, your confidence increases. And when your confidence increases, you want to get better results. You want to be yourself in a, express yourself in a better way. You want to grow in life more and more and more and more. But it is very important for you to understand what we have just discussed here about these three planes, okay? Now, let me read something for you from the book here, which is very, very powerful. It says that, when we pause to think for a moment, we realize that for a cosmos to exist at all, it must be the outcome of the cosmic mind, which binds all individual minds to a certain generic unity of action, thereby producing all the things as realities and nothing as illusions. Now, if you consider matter is in its right order as the polar opposite of spirit, you will not find any antagonism between them. On the contrary, together they constitute one harmonious whole. And when you realize this, you feel in your practice of visualizing that you're working from cause to effect, from beginning to the end. And in reality, your mental picture is the specialized outworking of the ongoing spirit. And there is no difference in the power, that only difference is in the difference of the degree. And that is the reason, why people manifest bigger and better things in their life, because they're exercising this ability that I've explained to you just right now in a different way. They exercise this ability right now, your thoughts, feeling, and action in a unique and a specific manner. And that's what we need to understand. If we want to manifest things in our life, we have to learn how to actually bring these things, these ideas, the spiritual ones, the intellectual faculties, how to use them in the way we should use them. Now, let's get on the phase of, understanding these things on the diagram of the mind, which is always one of the important things we focus on. Okay. Now, as we all know, let this circle represents your mind. All right. And let this small circle represents your body. Now, we know that your mind and body, they are connected. Okay. So your mind and body, they are connected with each other. All right. Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the line between the mind is differentiating is between your conscious and your subconscious mind. So this part is your conscious mind. This part is your subconscious mind. Okay. And then we have our body right there, which is, that's your body right there. And we have what we call as this dumbbell-shaped element, which is your brain. And then we have the sensory factors where see, smell, hear, taste, and touch. Right? Now, let us see what happens in an ideal case scenario. Now, when I say what happens in an ideal case scenario is that if everything goes according to the plan, we have the ability and the power to manifest anything and everything that we want to manifest. But then I'm going to show you why actually that doesn't happen. All right. Now, we can tap into this infinite source of universe. Okay. There is this infinite source of universe. If I put it in a different way, there is a infinite form of energy that is flowing to and through you all the time. And now, using your own mind, you have the ability to build thoughts and dreams into your conscious mind. And that's what most people do, right? Most people build dreams. And then this is what we're calling about is the spiritual side right there. That is the spiritual side, okay? Where there are infinite thoughts. And then we call about intellectual faculties. This is where your intellectual faculties are. Your intuition, your imagination, your willpower, your reasoning, your memory. And now by using these, you have the ability to build these dreams, all these beautiful dreams. And then all you have to do is hold on to these ideas. Let them sink into your subconscious mind. Let these ideas to go deeper into your subconscious mind. And when that happens, you get emotionally involved with these dreams. And when you get emotionally involved with these dreams, that ultimately rewires your brain, which ultimately changes the action. And when the action changes, what happens is the reaction from the universe changes. And when the reaction from the universe changes, we get better results. But now the question is there, if this is so easy, why not many people actually end up getting the results they want? Then what happens with majority of the people? Now let's have a look at what happens with the majority of people. Let's go back to the bottom of the page now, okay? And let's try to understand what happens in case of majority of people, okay? Now, once again, let this big circle represents your mind. Let this small circle represents your body, all right? Maybe right here. Let this small circle represents your body. And now we're going to understand actually what is the barrier in implementing this easy process, which seems so easy on the eye, but then it is not that much easy when it comes to the implementation of these ideas. Now, you know what happens is that we have to understand that since childhood, there has been so many ideas that has been programmed into our subconscious mind. And these ideas can be lack. These ideas can be limitations. These ideas can be money doesn't grow on trees. These ideas can be it's hard to achieve success on this planet. These ideas can be only special people achieve success. Or these ideas can be you need to have a great talents and abilities in order to become successful. And when we have all these kind of ideas in our subconscious mind, they become a group habits, which is called as our paradigms. Okay, now we are talking about visualization. After understanding this basics, after understanding what's happening at a deep down level, we're going to get back to the instruction that we have found in the first chapter about visualization. We'll be getting back to those instructions. But right now, I want you to pay attention to this right now, right here that we're discussing. That we have these belief system, these certain things in our mind, these paradigms, these lacks, these limitations. Everything is right there to the bottom of the details in our subconscious mind. You know what happens? All these paradigms, all these belief systems that we have, they controls whatever we think on a conscious level. And when our paradigms control whatever we think on a conscious level, that controls the whole flow of energy, that controls the whole flow of everything that is happening. And that's when we get the results that we do not want. Now, let's see how visualization can actually help us change these old paradigms. How this visualization can help us, get better results. Now, pay very close attention to this diagram right there. That's our mind. That's our body, okay? Right? And then we have conscious and subconscious mind. We have conscious and subconscious mind. And then we have our mind and body connected with each other. All right, perfect. And then we have what we call as these 5 little antennae. That is our sensory factors: see, smell, hear, taste, and touch. Now, please pay very close attention to this diagram here now, because now we are going to get into the idea of what happened when we constantly visualize. What happened when we constantly visualize our dream? What happens when we keep thinking about what we want? What happens when we keep thinking about the big dreams and the fantasies that we have? But most importantly, understand that how we build those fantasies, okay? As long as you're paying attention to your sensory factors right here, these 5 sensory factors, and you're letting them to build images based upon whatever has been into your paradigm, nothing is going to change for you at that moment. In order for you to go beyond and above that, you have to start using your intellectual faculties. That is your higher faculties, my dear friend. And the moment you start using these intellectual faculties, this, imagination, your intuition, your perception, the reasoning, the will, and the memory. The moment you start using these faculties, what happens is that you're building your big goals, the big dreams that you want to manifest. Okay. Now let's say you're using these faculties and you're building your dreams in your conscious mind. Now, you know what we said already in the previous slide? And we said that we have these old paradigms here, right? And these paradigms are still here. We are not denying the fact, okay? Now you have started working with your visualization, but the thing is that those paradigms are still there. Those little insidious voices inside your head that keep on telling you, you know what, you cannot do it. How can you think about earning that much money? You cannot achieve that. You're not good enough. Building that kind of physique is it's not your cup of cake. How can you even think about getting a job into the big corporate companies when you're not capable enough? How can you think about earning so much money when the world is going crazy? All those voices are still there in our subconscious mind. But that's the first step we need to take. We need to build that dream. We need to build that idea of possibility within our conscious mind, using our higher faculties that things are possible, using our higher faculties that we can accomplish that things. And now this is where you have to start visualizing. Understand that when you are practicing visualization, you're bringing the principle of auto-suggestion come into place, my dear friends. And if you go back and read Napoleon Hill's classic book, Think and Grow Rich, you know what he said about auto-suggestion? He said something really, really powerful. And I'm gonna share that with you. On the very first page of the book, he says that, is that auto-suggestion is an agency of communication between the part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and which serves as the seed of action for the subconscious mind. And then he continued by saying that through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, now whether those thoughts are positive or negative, That doesn't matter. The principle of auto-suggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with those thoughts. That means while you are applying the principle of, or in other words, if I say that, while you're doing the process of visualization, when you're visualizing your goal every single day, when you're thinking about your goal every single day, when you're trying to manifest your goal every single day, think that you are bringing the principle of auto-suggestion into the place. And remember this quote from Dale Carnegie. No, sorry, Dale Carnegie. It's Andrew Carnegie. He said, any idea that is held in the mind is emphasized, is either feared or revered, will find itself to clothe itself into the most appropriate form ever available. That means any idea, any dream, any belief, anything that you hold in your conscious mind and you emphasize, this is the key point. When he said, and is emphasized, you know what does it mean by emphasize? By emphasize, this mean is you're impressing these thoughts, these dreams every single day to your subconscious mind. Every single day. How we impress these thoughts into your subconscious mind every single day. How we do that. It's easy when you understand that. You do this. Now, this process right here, this process of impressing, you do this by writing your goal every single day. You do this by listening to your affirmations every single day. You do this by sitting down, even for 5 minutes, thinking about your goal every single day. And then also you can do it by just mentally, switching yourself from the pattern results to the results that you want. And when you do that, when you consciously and deliberately, my dear friends, when you consciously and deliberately feed that into your subconscious mind, you know what happens? You let go of these old paradigms. And when that happens, when you let go of these old paradigms, what happens afterwards is even more magical. And then you give rise to the emotions that are required for you to manifest this present result and dream. And now what happens when your conscious mind is in sync with your subconscious mind? That means the thoughts and emotions are right there. These emotions start rewiring your brain. And when your brain start rewiring, you know what happens? You start attracting better ideas. You start attracting better hunches. You start attracting everything that you need from the universe. And then when you act on those ideas at the level of your body, because now what's going to happen is your vibration is going to change. You are not going to be the same person right now. You will be vibrating at a different frequency. You know why? Because you have been feeding your mind with the new dreams. You have been feeding your mind with new ideas. You have been feeding your mind with the belief system that it is possible for you. And you have been feeding your mind with the possibility, with the dream, with an ideas that yes, you can accomplish better things. And those belief systems, those ideas that you have impressed onto your subconscious mind, they started changing you into a new person. And now when you take action on these new ideas, the new results, they are just bound to happen. They're just bound to happen. And all this has happened because you have started thinking about bringing the process of visualization into your daily life. You understood that there is a principle of auto-suggestion. You understand that auto-suggestion is the agency that helps you to get results. You understand that auto-suggestion is the agency that helps you to visualize yourself, that helps you to build on that image, that helps you to get to the point you're ultimately getting the results that you're seeking. So you have to think about it. You have to visualize certain things. You have to get into that idea, and then you have to manifest those results. So that is the reason why we visualize. And as we read in the first chapter, that visualization brings your mind into order. And visualization brings your mind into order. And since order is heaven's first law, it must be heavenly to visualize. It must be heavenly to visualize. So we need to understand that. Okay, so we need to understand that visualization is not only here for us to just to think about those big dreams, think about those big ideas. Visualization is more than that. Visualization is just empowering than that. So when you think about it, when you can think about it, and when you let this impress onto your subconscious mind, you can get to the better results. You can get to the better, manifestations. That's why I encourage, that's why I recommend every single one of you that write your goal every single day. And once you believe that you have come to a point where you feel that you are comfortable with the script, bang, record that script. You record that script, man. And then listen to that whenever you can. Listen to that every single day. Listen to that as much as you can. Because when you listen, understand that listening to your own voice about your own goals, it literally programs your subconscious mind. It literally does. It literally does. Okay, so think about it and start visualizing your goal. Think about it and get to the point you're telling yourself that I am getting this done. I'm going to do whatever I can. Imagine that if you just take one action every single day that is aligned with your goal. Imagine if you take just one action, one idea that if you execute it will take you in the direction of your goal. Imagine the impact it will have in 365 days. When I do these calls every single week, I don't think about how many people are going to show up. I don't care. The only thing that I care about is that this is the initiative that I want to take in order to grow my, awareness in terms of spending this, spreading this information, in terms of letting people know about it. And I know over the time, I'm going to pick up momentum and things are going to change and things are going to get better. And that can happen with you too. When you get to a point where you're doing certain things every single day in a certain way that helps you to get into the direction, that helps you to go beyond what you think is possible for you. So keep going in the direction of your goal. Keep going in the direction of what you want to accomplish. And you will see that you will get the results that you want to get for yourself. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. It has been a pleasure talking to you. And if you have been on YouTube, awesome. If you have been watching us on Zoom link for this free webinar, that's even brilliant. I'll encourage you, bring your friends, bring your family member every single week here on these calls. These calls are precious. The information we have is amazing. I'm not just flattering about it. I'm telling you because this information has changed my life a lot. And it can change yours too. Okay? So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. An absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm looking forward to see you next week. Till then.